meeting in Japan last July. I really want, during forthcoming summit meeting at the United Nations next week, the world leaders of governments and CEOs, NGO representatives, and philanthropists to look us in the face and tell us how much money and technology they will put behind these MDG goals. The bottom billion, the poorest of the poor of the world, deserve our attention. Not because they are future markets, though they undoubtedly are, and not because they will be less likely to migrate if their standards of living improves, though this too is true. The bottom billion deserves our particular attention because we are a single human family. We share common values and a common human dignity. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to think globally about security issues too. I'm thinking here of terrorism, the organized crime, as well as weapons of mass destruction, and spread of small arms. Tomorrow, we'll be observing again this very tragic September 11 terrorist acts. I'm thinking again about a recent eruption of violence and new tensions in the Caucasus region. I'm thinking about the fight against impunity. Far too often in the past, the gravest crimes have gone unpunished. The first decade of the International Criminal Court signals a breakaway from the unfortunate past. Today, we understand more fully that peace and justice should go hand in hand, and we are seeking to strike a correct balance between peace and justice. And finally, I'm thinking about those places where our deeds do not yet match our words. More than a year ago, the Security Council has authorized peacekeeping operations in Darfur. Yet member states have not provided enough resources needed to adequately carry out these peacekeeping operations. Thinking globally means thinking practically and closing gaps. My friends, particularly young students, let me speak to young people in this audience. Your generation can really help keep the balance in cultivating a global balance and mindset. You are fortunate to be at Fairleigh Dickinson University because it is a leader in global education. Global education should not be thought of as an elective course, something to be added to a schedule once your core requirements are satisfied. The students who opens up to other cultures will be more at home in a globalized economy. The professors who encourage his students to think beyond traditional borders gives those young men and women a professional head start. And the academic institutions that stresses global education will produce class after class of global citizens. The United Nations must do more to do its part. It is often said that if the United Nations did not exist, we would have to invent it in any way. I fully agree. And that is why we have to strengthen its capacities on each of the three pillars of the United Nations work: the peace and security and development and protection of human rights. Part of that efforts means continuing to open our doors to new partners. The academic community is surely at the top of their list. My colleagues and I have been discussing an initiative called Academic Impact. We hope to build stronger ties with institutions of higher learning. I have discussed this matter with President Adams. We hope to benefit from your ideas and scholarships. Fairleigh Dickinson University supports this initiative. My Undersecretary General for Department of Public Information, Mr. Kiyotaka Akasaka, he has had extensive consultation with the Fairleigh Dickinson professors and others. I look forward to working together as we move towards the official launch of this academic impact. President Adams, faculty members, dear students and friends, our future well-being will depend on our thinking globally. Our thinking must reflect new global realities. And this new reality can easily be summed up. More and more these days, it is in our national interest and in our personal self-interest to think globally. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for this honor. You have shown me today.